What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Unplayable's Untitled, Unlistenable, Unlimited podcast. I'm DHaus here with Jay and Mike. We got Jay this time. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you decided to do this on a day I'm free. Winter break. Let's go. Christmas
That's right.
break.
That's right. We all came prepared.
Are we all
in
on
our...
break? Are you on break, David? Well, I know you usually don't work on these days, but
yeah, I don't work on these. I'm like pseudo. I have like some days I have to work and some days I don't. So
nice.
But I'm mostly free.
Nice.
But I was trying to show off for our audio listeners. We've got all of our Star Wars holiday sweaters ready to go.
Mine's a Florida sweater.
Yeah.
Actually,
that is a great shirt, though.
Yours is the sickest.
For our audio listeners, what is that? Is that Vader?
It's Vader in a sleigh, and then it's AT-ATs as reindeer going to the Death Star.
Yeah, and Vader's got some presents in a sack next to him.
That is so stinking good.
What do you think he has in there? What presents do you think Vader is bringing to his stormtroopers? Force chokes. It's a bag full of force chokes.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Jay, since you weren't on our first episode, well, let me just set the stage a little bit, because we did this a week ago or so, and then we got a bunch of questions like, is this going to be its own thing? Is it part of Unplayable? Like, this is Unplayable. Like, that, just 100%, this is Unplayable. This is just our specific Star Wars Unlimited podcast that we're doing under the Unplayable banner, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're listening in the audio feed and on the commute or whatever. So this doesn't mean we're never going to talk about other games. It just means that we wanted to have a space where we could just talk about Star Wars Unlimited because we love the game. So that's what we're doing. Did I miss anything, guys? Anything you would add?
Nope. But you were about to ask me something.
I was. So you missed last time because you're busy getting swole or something. Yeah. But so we talked about our kind of impressions. I mean, this is only episode 2, but like, how are you feeling overall about Star Wars Unlimited? What are you thinking? We're a couple months from release now. Where's your head at?
I'm definitely excited to crack some packs. I think that the way they're doing the collectability of this game is what has me the most hype about it. And I'm super excited to open packs and hopefully get a showcase and get like foil hyperspace variants and all that kind of nonsense. That's going to be the most fun to me. But gameplay wise, yeah, I'm super stoked to play this. It's been fun the last couple weeks because me and Mike have been playing a fair amount, trying to beat Sabine and such as that. And I'm excited to see the rest of the card pool and see what happens.
Nice. Who's your favorite leader right now and your least favorite leader right now?
My favorite leader. That's a hard one. Probably Sabine, if I'm going to be honest. She's
pretty fun to play, honestly.
It's just like play units and attack. My least favorite would be Hera for sure. Like thematically, she's cool. Right. It's just not fun to play. Like you don't have an ability to use. So
yeah. Give us those Spectre units.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or cards.
Yeah.
Like events. Anything.
Yeah.
Give
Mike,
us a ghost.
Yeah, I want to see a Spectre upgrade. That's what I want to see.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would look like, but
it's like that Rebel Spy one that you got to spoil for Star Wars
for Destiny.
Yeah.
That was a cool one. I forgot what the card is called even. It's like Kanan in Covert, like a Stormtrooper outfit. It's like Kanan's head, Stormtrooper outfit. He's like holding the helmet, I think. Maybe he's not holding
it. Was a legendary.
It was legendary in set like 4 or 5 or something. I don't remember. I was excited about it because I got to spoil it on the Rebel Spy channel, and he looked like a Rebel Spy.
Yeah.
So
that
was fun.
That's good. Mike, how was your weekend, SWU? You playing some games? It was great.
Yeah, I played a ton. Played a lot. Yeah. a lot against you, a lot against Jay. I just like learning new things about the game all the time and trying to figure out what I like, what my play style is like. I've been sort of jumping from leader to leader, trying to figure out who my favorite is. I think it's still Han. That's the deck that I've enjoyed playing the most so far. But, obviously been playing a lot of Sabine against Jay, which has been fun as well. I do like her a lot. And played a couple leaders that I haven't played in a while. Tarkin, Krennic, and I played Thrawn for the first time as well. And I liked Thrawn. Thrawn was pretty cool. I don't really like Krennic. I know a lot of people do, including you. You just like, it does not vibe with me for some reason.
I
don't
loved
know why.
playing Krennic in Star Wars Destiny, and I absolutely love his character in Star Wars, and I like Ben Mendelsohn as an actor. But yeah, this Krennic doesn't have me hyped. Not right now, anyway.
Man, you guys are missing out.
I feel like you're missing out.
If they give us more synergy that works with him, it's like right now all we have is Death Trooper that like really synergizes with him well to set yourself up.
I don't think he needs it. That's what I like about him, that he doesn't need synergy. He just has this always active passive ability that your opponent can make mistakes playing against because they're not used to.
That might be why I don't like it, because it doesn't feel particularly, I don't know if synergistic is the right word, but like it doesn't feel unique enough in a way, right? It just kind of feels like, okay, you're doing this thing that like almost any leader could do, and like almost any ability could like it's very, I don't want to say boring either, because that's not really the right word, but it's like very simple, and I don't mind simple all the time.
And you like Han, which is not simple at all.
Exactly. Yeah. Like he's on one end of the spectrum, Han's on the other end of the spectrum, and I like Han a lot better. But there are other simple leaders like Sabine, and I like her a lot better than I like Krennic. So I don't know exactly what it is that I like or dislike about it. I haven't really like reflected on that enough, but yeah.
I think Krennic's thing to buff damage units is almost like icing on the cake. I think the real value comes from the fact that he comes out at 5 and he restores 2 with 7 health, because 7 health is sort of this like this really high level that you have to typically spend at least 2 cards to deal with.
Yeah. I think he's just not exciting enough for me. I like the more like the flashier leaders. Like, if I'm playing like Control, I'd rather play Iden or even Vader or something like that. I don't know.
So I guess, is he Control as much as he is?
I don't know.
I think he sets up ramp decks really well because of how early he comes out, and he's keeping health so that you can build toward those big giant capital ship moments. Like, sure. I feel like in his deck, he's the easiest to be able to drop the Relentless and the Avengers and the Devastators.
I didn't play green with him. Played double blue because we were playing our Christmas series, and I didn't want to play the deck that everybody else was playing. So I could see that being a bit more interesting for sure. But that is the ramp stuff that's cool and flashy, not Krennic himself. I get that he like helps you get there and helps you sort of stabilize until that point, but I don't know. I'm still not excited to play Krennic.
That's good. See, that's what I was about to say on your Sabine videos. Isn't it wild how everybody on the internet agrees with your Sabine lists and totally agrees with all of your takes, guys?
Well, that's the beauty of card games, right? It's like if there was one answer, that would be boring as hell.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
And I was gonna mention about Krennic's like passive ability. It feels like to get value out of that, you have to always 2-for-1 your opponent. So you have to play characters that have higher health than what your opponent's attacks have, and then also deal enough damage to that unit to be able to defeat it, for it to feel like you're getting good value out of the +1 damage or +1 attack for damage characters. And you aren't always going to be able to 2-for-1.
I don't think you even try to go for his ability. I don't think that's like a goal you should have in mind. It.
Again, I think that tells you everything you need to know about why that character sucks.
No, I'm telling you, the restore 2 and 7 health is coming out at 5. Crap.
So the first 5 turns, I'm not using Krennic.
Jay, meet me at the table after this. I want Chris to comment that match. All right.
Okay.
I mean, like I don't know. I understand what each of you guys are saying. I don't agree that he's interesting, but I agree that he has value.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm not saying he's bad. Like, I mean, he's gonna be decent. It's just not fun.
Oh man. See, when I have fun playing. See, okay, here maybe this is a good caveat. I like playing Krennic specifically with green. I have not tried Krennic with any other color, so I can't say that Krennic in a vacuum is just good value.
Like, is he the best here, like leader to pair with green?
I
Like,
don't know.
would you rather
Aiden
be
is good
playing
too.
Krennic than Aiden?
Well, I did wonder, like, does Aiden offer something? But I think Aiden.
Like, how many turns does Krennic live for? Like 2 usually.
I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Probably 2.
Like, assume it's 2, right? You're healing total of 4 damage. Can you heal more than that with Aiden? I think the ceiling is higher with Aiden, but the floor is also lower. So it's definitely different, right? Each of them are probably going to be better into different things.
Yeah, but then it gets into the matchups because Aiden dies to a takedown, Krennic doesn't.
Sure. Yep.
So there's also damage on the board.
But if you're playing against blue, you probably don't need to heal to stabilize until you get to your late game.
Yeah, I also I specifically like having Krennic with Emperor's Royal Guard Sentinel unit.
Oh, sure, because he's an official.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you always forget.
That's fair. you don't put your units.
I know. I saw you you moved my unit closer to the board because I don't know.
I'm like, okay, one thing I'm going to go on a tangent here. One thing that I have noticed I've been playing this game a lot, and I am just generally, as a human being and as a gamer, really, really, really bad at remembering things that are like, remembering everything on the board. Number one, remembering things that are like not on the card, I guess, and also remembering like things that are either temporary or things that are only active sometimes. So with Royal Guard, like if you don't put the Royal Guard like an inch ahead of all of your other cards, I'm never going to remember that it has Sentinel. I'm just not.
This is why I like the Game-Genic tokens, because they have some.
Yeah, they're the temporary
I forget.
Stuff, right?
It was like, was it an exclamation point or an X or something?
I think so.
It was one of those where you could just put it on a card just to be like, hey, pay attention to this thing. Which I think is really good. That's why I like watching. Yeah, like I like watching garbage rollers. Like I think they do it really well, where like they have this big token on the Sentinel unit. It's like you can't miss this. They've got black for like, okay, Veers is on the board. They put a black +1/+1 on every Imperial unit.
That's cool.
If it's a temporary, they do like a white one that's just for the turn or something like that. But nice. It makes me want to get all those tokens.
I've seen the giant like exclamation point that they use, but I haven't seen the other stuff. So that's very cool.
Yeah, I think that's probably something that will, especially early on in this game, because you're not going to be the only one who feels that way. And new players are going to need that. They're going to be like, oh, I attack this stormtrooper, and it's like, oh, that stormtrooper actually does 4 damage back and kills your whatever. And
right,
like, wait. So I think it would behoove us all to have lots of indicators for those early weeks to just help each other out.
Yeah, it's interesting because in a lot of ways, the design of the game lines up with like some of the digital games that we've played in terms of like buff stacking and persistent damage and stuff like that are mechanics that I think, have mostly become popular in digital card games where that is automatically tracked for you. You don't have to do anything. Whereas in this game you do. And it's something that I know Magic has avoided for a long time on purpose, which was like damage counters alongside like +1/+1 counters and stuff like that. And this game has a lot of that. And I have to spend way more time than I ever have in a game trying to figure out how much health a unit has left. I've been trying to like figure out ways to make it easier in my head. But I don't know. I haven't come up with anything particularly good yet. So if anybody out there is listening and is like, oh, like just do this, let me know in the comments because I am very bad at that.
Yeah. Come on, Etsy people, figure it out. All right. So to prepare for today, again, we've got our kind of our holiday sweaters on. I was thinking like, okay, for episode 2, we're a couple days from Christmas. What are we gonna do? And then wouldn't you believe it, guys? But Hollywood reached out. And we've got, I know it's crazy, guys. We've already made it. Yeah, Hollywood reached out. And there's like a bunch of really popular Christmas movies and holiday movies that asked if they could sponsor a question for today's podcast. So I had to say yes, obviously. And so we've got a list. We've got 5 questions from some popular movies that we watch in December. And we've made it, guys. So I'm going to jump in for these questions, everybody. First question. This one just got in right before we started recording because we had a certain leader who was spoiled literally minutes before we hit record. But from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, He said, "Hey, I like that Cassian fella. He also steals things like the Death Star plans. What do you guys think about this new Cassian guy? Thank you, Grinch Who Stole Christmas."
Perfect.
Wow.
Mike, what do you think? I'll let you take it away.
Wow. We usually we usually talk about the spoilers on a different video, and I'm sure we will still talk about Cassian in much more detail in that future video. But I think he's interesting. I don't know exactly
let's read them off. Let's read them off.
Yeah. That sounds good. Go for it.
All right. We've got Cassian Andor. He is Red Hero. He is a rebel, and he has an action that says pay 1 and exhaust him. If you've dealt 3 or more damage to an enemy base this phase, draw a card. So do 3, pay 1, draw a card. And then he deploys at 6 resources into a 4/6 with Saboteur. And it has an ability that says when you deal damage to an enemy base, you may draw a card. Use this ability only once each round.
Oof, that's tough.
It's hard to evaluate.
Yeah.
Because I guess I was trying to say before, like what I don't know what deck wants that at the moment. I feel like it's pushing towards some kind of like control strategy in Red Hero that doesn't like quite make a ton of sense to me yet, because you have to be dealing 3 to your opponent's base to get any value out of it. But you also, like, if you're playing a more controlling style deck,
you're not doing that.
Yeah, you're probably not going base. You're probably
it's a
interacting with their board. Yeah,
because it can't be an aggro deck.
I don't know.
Coming out at 6, right? Maybe.
Yeah, no, I don't think this really fits an aggro deck. One thing that I do like is that it's really cool that it synergizes so well with For a Cause, because you flip the top 4 cards of your deck, reorder your deck, deal the damage, and then draw exactly what card you're going to draw. Most of the time, which is cool. So,
but that's cool. 4 resources. So it's like,
yeah, it's expensive.
What do you need an extra card for?
Or just 3 on his deployed side. But
yeah. I don't know. I need to mess with him before like having a real opinion, I think.
Yeah.
I like the 6 health. He's out of force choke range.
I don't love 4/6 at 6. That's like what Hera is. But then you have things that like leaders that flip on 5 that just have better stats, right? You got, even Krennic might be better as a 2/7, or Thrawn's a 3/9. I'd probably rather have a 3/9 than a 4/6. Luke is a 4/7.
Does he come out of 6? He does come out of 6, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Saboteur is nice. You can, get very good against specific leaders.
I mean, he nukes Iden.
He does.
if Iden is meta, it's like they come out the same turn, so that's going to be a feel bad.
Yeah, that's an interesting sort of game of chicken, right? Of like one person doesn't want to flip their leader before the other because the Iden player could deal with it before they get to trade into Iden, and vice versa. Iden doesn't want to flip first because they don't want to just get taken out by Cassian. So
no, right? Like if you're Iden, you always want to flip first, right?
I don't think so.
Because then they have to flip Cassian, and then you get to go before Cassian gets to attack.
Yeah, but there's nothing currently. I mean, unless you have Cassian dead on board, there's nothing currently that would allow you to take out Cassian before he could take out Iden. How much health does he have? He has 6.
OB, right?
Yeah,
off of Iden, you could just insta-kill him.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty telegraphed, though.
Or, surprise strike. Shoot first. Is that +2?
+1.
+1. I'm sure there's plenty of ways to deal with Cassian before.
But also, that's part of what makes it interesting, though.
Even if you don't get to take care of Cassian, at least you get her out so that you can either take advantage of OBing and killing a bunch of their units to heal a bunch, or at least swing in with her before she's dead. I think Iden always wants to flip before Cassian.
I think it will be
play the matchup and see.
Yeah,
because I don't know if I agree with that.
These are the moments where I can't wait till we're streaming live games at big tournaments and you watch these master brains at the top tables not deploy or deploy late or whatever, and everyone questioning, wait, did he forget? And then you're like, oh wow, that's what I love.
Tunic trigger.
Yeah. I ultimately, I think you can maybe try to build something around Cassian, but it's going to be really hard to justify playing Cassian over Sabine in a Red Hero shell.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I feel like they're totally different decks. I don't think Cassian goes in the same like type of deck at all.
Now in limited, I feel like card draw could be really good.
Is
like
Cassian common or rare?
Cassian is rare.
Interesting.
So he's not a draft hero, that's for sure.
But I mean, I don't see any reason.
I mean, you'll get him sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that ability in draft or sealed, anytime you get extra cards in those kind of environments,
you put this guy in any other game, and it's like for look on it would be like gain 3 lore, pay 1 to draw a card or something, and then from Hearthstone it's like deal 3 face, pay 1, draw a card. That's like good, right? In any other game, it feels like.
Yep. But
so why does it feel like it's not the same here?
Because you're drawing 2 cards a turn. You're already having a hard time playing everything that you're drawing a lot of the time. So
yes, but I also think
worthwhile here.
But I think red hero decks like to play 2 cards a turn in general. Like you're often dropping an A-wing and
I don't know if this one does though.
Sabine.
Like I don't know.
All right, well we'll have to play.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. We got another question, guys. This one comes from Scott Calvin. I don't know if you guys remember good old Scott Calvin from the Santa Claus. He's been
the Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus, yes. He's a little insecure. He's been asked to take over leadership of the North Pole and the elves, and he just doesn't think he's got what it takes. And so he's looking for a little bit of advice here. And he sent in, and he sent us the question, what makes a good leader, in your opinion? What makes a good leader?
This is really going to help him out in the North Pole.
Yeah. I think the principles are transferable across, Star Wars Unlimited to the North Pole.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's hard to answer. I mean, it's a combination of things. When they get to flip out, what color they are, what their stats are, what their ability is.
How good they are at delegating, their relationship with their employees.
Yeah, that too.
Which Star Wars Unlimited leader has the best relationship with their employees, Mike?
Director Krennic, for sure.
Yeah, he buffs that when they're hurt. He gives them a little encouragement, right? He says, you guys got this. Come on, Death Trooper. Okay, this goes back to the question the Krennic discussion, right? Passive ability versus like triggered ability. And this is where my brain went. Like, if there is something that's always active, I think this is why we also don't like Hera as much, because Hera's ability...
Well, Hera does nothing.
She's basically vanilla outside of this deck building. It doesn't give enough. At least right now, it doesn't give enough. Whereas like Krennic gives you something. I'm trying to think of the other.
Krennic is better than Hera, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now.
I think for me, in terms of like priority, what I look for when I am looking at the leaders, I think a good leader side ability is what I think is the most important, because you almost always have access to it. And if you can gain a lot of value by using an ability on your leader over and over again. You don't have to spend cards to use it, right? So like Luke is a good example. You're giving out shields. Tarkin's a good example. You're giving out experience. And you're not spending cards to affect the board. And you always have access to those abilities on your action if you have the resources to spend, right? Boba Fett, right? Something like that, where when something happens, you get to ready a resource, and that, readying resources is just good. But like it's a leader side ability that has a lot of impact, and you get to use that almost every turn. I think that's my top priority.
Yep. I think naturally I look towards when do they deploy? I think
that's probably number 2.
yeah. It's like controversial to say like if they can deploy earlier, that tends to be better for you. Like that's why as much as I do love Chewie, and I'll be playing a lot of Chewie, but him coming out at 7 sometimes
I'm dead before then.
Yeah, it's like, he just does too little, too late to make an impact. If he came out at 5 or 6, like that would be wild. That would be, you could really stabilize and create some stuff.
And then probably I think stats are last for me, but they're like included.
Except for like IG-88 at 4 health.
Yeah, he's just bad.
Like that stat is like the number one reason why you don't play it.
I think there's a lot of reasons why I don't play him. Number one, I think his leader side ability is not that good, because it's pretty hard to maintain more units than your opponent, at least with the card pool that we have right now. The second is that, he flips on 5 as a 5/4. So he's competing with 4 7s, 2 7s. What is Leia? 3 6? Like,
yeah,
almost
with
every, literally every single other leader that flips on 5 has better stats than him.
Yeah.
And he is giving all of your units raid 1, right? But your opponent has probably killed all of your units because they don't want you to get value out of his leader set abilities. So there's a lot of things that are working against him there in practice.
We just have to hold out for the droid deck one day. Some
Well,
dark droid themed thing.
I mean, that would be cool. I would be into that.
Yeah.
What's really interesting to me right now so far is I'm about to look it up. So many of the characters or leaders are designed around the value of like 1. So like Tarkin gives 1 experience token to an Imperial. Luke gives a shield, which you can ping with 1 damage. So like the value could technically be 1 of that, but it has a higher ceiling than say something like, who's the other character? Sabine is like deal 1 damage to you and your opponent, so it evens out. But there's several that are based around the value. So like Han is gain 1 resource basically. Boba Fett is he ready 1 resource when he defeats something, and then 2 on his leader side or his unit side. It's weird and interesting. And then like you have Tarkin or not Tarkin, Krennic and IG-88 are based around 1, but they have a higher ceiling because you can give it to multiple units. But realistically, most of the time, you're probably only getting it on like 1 unit at a time. And then like Jyn Erso is give -1 rather than giving a friendly unit +1. I just thought that was interesting as I've looked at through the different leaders. It's like they're trying to balance it in such a way that it's like, I don't know. You deal damage with Grand Inquisitor, you deal what, 1 damage or 2 damage to a unit?
Yeah,
2 damage, and then Redium. So I mean that has a way higher ceiling, but you're also dealing 2 damage to yourself to try and balance out the
unit has to have 3 or less power as well.
Yeah, so if it has exactly 3, you're gaining 1 technically, but then you get to swing in with it. So it's weird. It's weird math. And like the more useful, the better the ability, I think the lower the ceiling is, and then like the worse the ability, the higher the ceiling is. It's the way it feels.
Yeah, that's a good observation.
All right.
You started talking about math, and David tuned out.
Oh yeah,
my eyes
completely lost him.
Yeah, it's great. It's good stuff, Jay. Thanks for being on the podcast
even though
today.
The only number that you said was 1.
Jim's not even on this, Jay. Come on. All right, you guys ready for our next Hollywood question?
I've never been more ready for anything in my entire life.
Okay. Our good friend Ralphie from A Christmas Story, reminded us that all he wanted for Christmas was an upgrade. He just wanted a BB gun.
A BB gun.
And that's all he wanted, but everyone kept saying he'd shoot his eyes out. So Ralphie wanted to know. Yes, Ralphie wanted to ask us what our favorite upgrade is in Star Wars Unlimited. What do we want for Christmas?
I'm gonna pick a not obvious one, but if your answer isn't entrenched, I don't know what you're doing. But I'm not going to pick entrenched. I'm going to say resilient. Just because I like having high health and it only costs 1.
I think that's fair.
And then you throw that on a grit unit and they're a beast.
Throw it on
Jay's dream grit deck.
5th brother, and you're a happy person.
Oh yeah. 5th brother with resilient. Real nice.
Chef's kiss.
That is a hot take right there. Mike?
Oh man, what is my favorite upgrade?
Is it an experience token?
Or a shield token? I think my favorite upgrade to play is Jedi lightsaber.
Yeah.
I just think it's real good, and it makes a big impact. Playing it in like double blue Luke or something like that is super fun, and yeah, I like it.
Yeah, Jedi lightsaber's mine as well. There's a
unoriginal.
There is. I'm doing my question. My answer first.
Single person picking entrenched is just criminal.
Entrenched is a close second, but there is something special about playing a Jedi lightsaber on Yoda.
Yeah,
and just fun. Melting units like.
At least pick the cool one. At least pick Darth Vader's lightsaber.
Darth Vader's lightsaber is cool too, but it doesn't actually do anything until you flip Darth Vader on turn 6.
This is turning into Chris's lightsaber tier list.
Well, once we have the full set, we'll do a lightsaber tier list for Star Wars Unlimited.
So good.
That'll be fun.
But to Jay's point, Entrenched is much more versatile. And I mean, it can. I watched a game this morning where like double Entrenched was played on the opposing, space units, and they just ignored a 6 and a 5 in space because they threw Entrenched on there and just was like, whatever. So when you're just stuck that way, that's that definitely is tough. But yeah, so I like the versatility.
Me to pick the best upgrade that's different than my favorite upgrade.
Yeah, it's what do you want for Christmas? Like Ralphie. I don't think you can shoot your eye out if with an Entrenched, but you definitely can slice your eye out with the lightsaber.
Do the Luke where he's looking down the.
Man, that movie was only 20 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, what happened?
So good. Gosh, that reminded me of that scene with Rey and Kylo in the throne room, and the catch with the lightsaber just goes straight through the Praetorian Guard.
Yeah,
oh, gosh,
so good.
I need a card with that art.
Whatever anybody thinks about that movie, I think that's one of my favorite fight scenes of all time. In Star Wars
how could you not? Yeah.
It's so good.
All right, guys, we got two more questions from Hollywood. This next one comes from Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Here we go.
From Jingle All the Way.
From Jingle All the Way.
Let's go.
Arnold waited a little too long.
I like how all the other characters you use their character name. Arnold Schwarzenegger is still Arnold Schwarzenegger even when he's not.
Yeah, he just needs to be named Arnold in every movie. Like, why do they give him a different name? Like, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Like, that's iconic. So Arnold waited a little long with his Christmas shopping, and he was supposed to get
running California.
Yeah, well, and a furniture company apparently, but he didn't get old Turbo Man for his son, and all he wanted was it's Turbo time, and he waited too long, so he had to spend all of Christmas Eve trying to find a Turbo Man. He couldn't do it. Thought he was going to get some, but it was too expensive, and it's fake, and he just went around, and he just couldn't find it because it was too expensive, too much wanted. So the question that Arnold had for us today: what's your early pick for the most expensive legendary that's going to come out of Star Wars Unlimited? That we're all going to wait too long to get, and then we can't get it because it's everybody picked it up, and now it's $400, and it's gone.
$400. Are we talking hyperspace foil?
Let's
talking
just regular.
Let's just do regular, and then if we feel like it, we can do hyperspace as well. But what's your early pick for most expensive legendary of the ones revealed?
What do you think, Jay?
You can pull up those SWU DB. Thanks, Parker. Pull up those SWU DB and
here we go.
I've already got my answer locked in.
There's some good one. Oh, I know the one for me. I know which one will be the most expensive for me.
I also know the one that's going to be the most expensive for you.
This is tough.
I think everybody else knows which one it is too.
Yep, it's Black One, isn't it?
Oh yeah. All right, I think the most expensive legendary might be the Millennium Falcon.
That's my answer.
I think that might.
I think it's by far the best yellow hero card.
Yeah, it's super good. It's the Millennium Falcon,
iconic,
and it's super good.
It's like it's probably my favorite card in the game to play.
Wow,
so good! It's like so good.
It certainly fits in the turbo time category.
It does. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I want for Christmas is the Millennium Falcon. I mean, I think there are some that might come close or that may challenge. And David, you'll probably say one of the ones that I'm thinking, but I'm with Jay on this one. I think it'll be Falcon at the end of the day.
I think Falcon is number 2.
You think Cunning's number 1?
No, I think Luke's number 1.
You think Luke's number 1?
Really? I think Luke is number 1 because for the same reason. One, it's Luke Skywalker. The card is so good. I mean, people are just going to want to play Luke Skywalker in their decks, and he absolutely flips games often when he hits the table. So I think there's probably an argument for the Falcon being more playable in general because it comes out at 3, and so it's a little bit more versatile for lots of different decks. But I think Luke is going to edge out the Falcon. for number one. It goes Luke, Falcon, Cunning are my top three.
I think Boba Fett and Cunning both go for more than Luke.
Boba Fett, I think, is another great answer. Actually, I think, yeah, I probably put Boba above Luke as well, because I just think Luke fits in fewer decks than Boba Fett. And
yeah,
Falcon, because of like Falcon goes in literally any yellow hero deck. You can't tell me that you're going to build a yellow hero deck and not put Millennium Falcon in it. It's
like Captain Hook. Like he goes in every steel deck. One cost.
It's exactly like that.
1/3 with Rage 2. Like
it's just such a good card. And Boba Fett goes in, I think, literally every villain yellow deck, because it's just like,
he's so good.
It's a 3-cost 3/5.
3/5.
like with an ability that's good.
Yeah.
So that's a good shout out. I put those two at the top. I put Cunning and Luke maybe next, because I do really like Luke. He's very powerful, very flashy, feels like a legendary. Obviously, most iconic character of Star Wars, if not, top two, like him and Vader probably. So I would definitely put that up there. But in terms of what people are going to actually be playing more of in more decks, I think it's Falcon and Boba Fett.
You may have convinced me.
Both yellow cards.
I hate to admit it, but
my favorite legendary is Mace Windu.
Of course.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be the most expensive.
If you open a hyperspace or foil, or is it hyperspace foil? Are there two different versions
separate,
of foil?
Yeah.
So well, there's a regular foil mace and a hyperspace foil.
Shoot! Are there 4 of each thing?
Yeah, there's the regular, the hyperspace, the foil, and then the hyperspace foil.
I'm gonna need a bigger binder.
Mike, is your binder closed? Can you please show this thing?
Yeah, let me grab it.
Mike bought a binder already to prepare to get a whole collection of Star Wars Unlimited, and it's bigger than most compact cars.
So I wish I had a banana for scale. And if you're listening on audio, you're just gonna have to trust me.
Yeah,
this is.
It feels so.
This is about twice as big as my head. And it
absolutely
fits,
ridiculous.
It fits 1,000 cards. My plan was to build a full set of set 1 of Star Wars Unlimited in this one binder. But now I don't even think that's possible.
Oh, man.
Because there's 252 cards or something like that. And now I have to multiply that by 4
in one thing, right?
That's 4 cards in one slot. That's bad binder behavior.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Well, but then I can't see all the versions of it side by side.
No.
I know it's different versions.
Are you going to get 4 of each version, or
no, one of each version? But that's still over 1,000.
But it still doesn't
cards.
fit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I could go 4 wide, and have each of the 4 different versions on one row. So that's pretty cool. But I'm kind of annoyed now.
That's wild.
Whoops.
So
I'm gonna have to find an even bigger binder.
And then
somehow
you have the OP versions.
Oh, stop.
Of cards.
Oh gosh, so you're right.
I thought I was gonna be fine because I was only calculating for 3 of each type, and then I'd have extra at the end for showcase and for organized play variants. But no.
Wow.
Gee.
Yeah.
All right. What's our next Hollywood question?
Well, no. What I was saying is, if you pull a foil or hyperspace version of Mace Windu, if you're not in our Discord, you probably need to get in our Discord and just ping Jay, because he'll probably give you anything you want for those. So
yeah, 100%. Anything you want.
All right, guys. Our final question from Hollywood today. I missed the original call, so I had to call him back. And it was a really short conversation, but he just answered and said, "Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?"
Oh my god.
For the audio listeners, I wish you could see Jay and Mike's face when I offer these questions to them. So, guys, Buddy the Elf wants to know, what's your favorite color? And we're going to assume he meant hero or villain as well. So you have to
pick up the count. All right.
Yeah.
Yellow for me.
Gambos. I mean, yellow.
Yours yellow too?
Yeah, I would say yellow. I think,
it's the most fun.
I don't know. Red's Red's up. I'll
Red's
go
pretty
with
cool
red.
too. Red's pretty cool.
I'll go with red because red is just more aggressive.
I think about this more than I should, like this question. Just I don't know why, but it's constantly shifting between blue, red, and yellow, depending on what I'm playing and what I'm enjoying at the time. Because there's
hero
some
villain
from each of those colors. Oh, I don't care.
no, you have to choose. You have to pick a lane.
Wait, is hero
like
and villain
hero
not also a color?
Yeah, like there's not 6 colors. There's 4 colors, and then
we're gonna assume you have eight choices.
It's like light yellow or dark yellow.
Yeah. There.
I see. Okay.
Light gambos or dark gambos.
I gotcha. I think. I mean, with Han, I like yellow hero more than I like yellow villain, but I think yellow villain is also super fun, and I love playing that. So, and then
I'll go red hero.
Yeah.
Because that's where Mace Windu is. But
It's
I also
such a
like
hard question.
Sabine, and I like A-Wing, and I like For a Cause, and K2SO. Red Hero just has a lot of really cool cards.
It does. This is too hard of a question. I like them all except for green.
Wait a second. Hold on. Because my meme answer is green hero, obviously. But my actual like competitive I want to win answer is green villain. Yes.
I thought you were red hero.
No,
the day
green
you
hero.
die.
He's green hero. Because in this game, green hero is what red hero was in Destiny.
Trash.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. Because it really is. It's all the military, non-force using type people that are just trying to win a battle. But green villain, I have really loved. Overwhelming Barrage is Overwhelming Barrage.
It's very good.
It's so good.
Yeah,
but I also love dropping the capital ships. Relentless Devastator.
Before we close out, I guess we don't have to right now. They spoiled some more cards.
Oh, nice.
Oh gosh.
Zev, Aurelios, and Rogue.
Oh, hey, another Spectre.
All right, read them off for us, Coach.
You want me to?
We can just do hot takes right now, and then we can we'll talk about these more in our spoiler.
All right. Yeah. Zeb is a 5 health red hero. When this unit completes an attack, if the defender was defeated, you may deal 4 damage to a ground unit. I don't know his cost because it's covered, but I can get that in a minute.
It's 5.
5 cost. Okay. What's his attack?
5/5.
Yeah, he's a 5/5.
Let's go. And that's kind of a good ability.
That's pretty strong.
When it was defeated, you may deal 4 damage.
I mean, he's got built-in 2 for 1-ing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can ECL this
3 for 1-ing.
I mean, the thing I want to do with this is play it in Leia and give it ambush.
Yeah.
With the conversation lab. Oh, no, that wouldn't be Leia. That would be a different red.
Sabine or something.
Yeah. That'd be
Cassian.
Do Sabine with green with conversation lab and this and the 2 cost 3/3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That sounds pretty fun.
This guy's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
His artwork's all right.
Yeah, I like the art a lot, actually.
All right. And the other one is 6 cost Rogue Squadron Skirmish.
Ooh.
I think I can't see. 4
Green
something.
4/6.
Ambush 6. Okay. When played, return a unit that costs 2 or less from your discard pile to your hand. Huh.
This one I don't
That's
like.
Yeah, not that good. 2 cost? What do you need the 2 cost for?
That's a Battlefield Marine right there.
It's just it's a unit that costs 2 or less. Yeah. If it was any card that costs 2 or less, that'd be interesting.
It'd be a little better.
Yeah.
You could bring back a surprise strike or something like that.
It's like this is
ambush is like okay, but you're spending 6. What else can you spend 6 on in green hero or just hero in general? Probably more interesting stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't feel impactful enough.
Zeb is definitely the cooler of the 2 here.
Yes. It is a ground vehicle, which might eventually be relevant.
It can't be force scoped.
Okay, so if you want to play into like the wedge theme, you could go wedge into this. Then it's a 5/7 next turn after wedge if he survives.
Trash. Zeb's cool though.
But Callus comes in at 5 and he hits for 4 with ambush, and you might draw a card.
This also draws you a card. Like, yeah, I guess you kind of have to compare it to Callus, right? Because Callus does something very similar but has worse stats, but the card draw is probably better than returning a unit that costs 2 or less from your discard pile to your hand. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's low impact. That's
if
my
you're
hot
running
take.
with red, you can get stuff like the Green Squadron A-Wing back, which feels good because that's always helpful.
Yeah, but you're like at that point in the game.
I mean, you're threatening 3 damage
The following turn.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is overcosted, but like we're gonna
Hot
make our
takes.
snowspeeder deck.
Hot takes. Get your hot takes here, Coach.
There we go.
Sorry about that tangent. I just saw it and I was like, oh, cool. We can talk about it right now.
That worked out.
So good.
We'll have
Was that all of
to
our
always
questions?
record at this time of day on Fridays, and
That was
live
all of our
react.
Hollywood questions, guys. I'm sure
Perfect.
more will be reaching out, but they missed the timing of our last Christmas holiday episode. So till next year.
Makes sense.
Till next year. But I do need to clip Jay's face after I asked the Buddy the Elf question, because that was priceless. And I will put that as his like contact photo in my phone.
Oh, don't worry. I'll put that in the thumbnail of the video.
Perfect. Perfect. With my snaggle tooth.
Why do you have a snaggle tooth?
Because I had a root canal and I have a temporary crown on and it looks like crap. Poor girl. That poor girl. She had no clue what she was doing. That's for sure. Took her forever to make this thing. It's like when an artist is like sculpting something and it's like they think they did so good and you look at it and you're just like,
this doesn't look anything like what I thought
child.
it was.
I didn't have the heart to break it to her. I was like, it's fine. I'll just hurry up and get the permanent one.
Yeah, see you in 3 weeks or whatever it is. Yeah. Oh, it's tough. All right, well, that's all we got this week for episode 2 of the Untitled, Unplayable, Unlimited, Unlistenable podcast.
Is it Untitled?
Yeah, are we not calling it the Conversation Lab?
Is this the Conversation Lab? Is that what it is?
Not calling it a Star Wars story by Unplayable.
Yeah, it's called Unplayable, a Star Wars story. I don't know what we're calling it, but I do like Conversation Lab as a name. So
yeah,
who knows?
That's a real good one.
Fine with that.
We'll see.
All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. I'm sure we'll have more content coming at you. If you're not in our Discord, hop in our Discord. Come chat some Unlimited with us. Yeah, we also have we've got a Looking for Games channel that's been seeing some more action recently. So if you want to play some TTS games against some people, that's on there as well. But until next time,